I've asked the AI to transform the measurements indicated for the building of Solomon's temple in qubits, assuming that the temple is a metaphor for a quantum computer or a quantum device. What kind of machine we would obtain and what will be the specifics of it?
If we treat the biblical measurements of Solomon's temple, detailed in 1 Kings chapter 6 and 2 Chronicles chapter 3, as a design blueprint where 1 cubit equals 1 qubit, we move from a physical place of worship to a massive, fault-tolerant, modular quantum processing architecture. Mapping the numbers, proportions, and symbolic elements of the temple onto quantum computing concepts yields a very specific kind of machine. 1. Core architecture and qubit capacity. In quantum information theory, system capacity scales with total physical qubits and how they are partitioned into topological registers, fault-tolerant zones, and quantum memories. Main processor, the holy place, Heckel, dimensions, 40 qubits long x 20 qubits wide x 30 qubits high. Qubit translation, 40 times 20 times 30 equals 24,000 qubits arranged in a 3D grid lattice. Function. This serves as the general-purpose quantum processing unit, QPU. A 3D lattice allows for high connectivity and multi-layer surface code error correction. The quantum core, the Holy of Holies, Kadesh HaKodashim, dimensions, 20 qubits x 20 qubits x 20 qubits, a perfect cube. Qubit translation, 20 times 20 times 20 equals 8,000 qubits. Function. The perfect cube symmetry represents a highly stable, topological fault-tolerant coprocessor or universal quantum memory. This section is isolated behind a veil, a quantum decoherence barrier or gate array. The I/O buffer, the portico, ULAM, dimensions, 20 qubits wide x 10 qubits deep. Qubit translation, 200 qubits, or 2,400 qubits if considering the 120 qubit height mentioned in 2 Chronicles chapter 3 verse 4. Function. The interface, classical quantum bridge. It handles state preparation, initial superposition, and routing external data into the primary QPU. Auxiliary memory and Ankyla stack, the outer side chambers, dimensions, 3 tiered levels of 5, 6, and 7 qubits width. Qubit translation, 5 plus 6 plus 7 equals 18 specialized Ankyla registers running around the perimeter. Function. Syndrome measurement and error correction stack. These side channels read error syndromes without collapsing the quantum states inside the main processor. 2. Key components as quantum hardware analogs. The construction materials and sacred artifacts translate directly to hardware specifications. The gold overlays, inside Holy of Holies, correspond to cryogenic thermal shielding and superconducting bus lines, and their function is high-purity gold coating for thermal shielding and minimization of thermal noise at near absolute zero temperatures. The Ark of the Covenant corresponds to the central execution unit, logical qubit register, located at the center of the 8,000 qubit cube. It holds the fundamental commandments, the primary quantum algorithms, logic gates. The 2 cherubim, 10 qubit wingspan each, are the entanglement routers, quantum repeaters, and the wings touching wall to wall, 10 plus 10 equals 20 qubits across, create full span quantum entanglement across the entire Holy of Holies core. No iron tools used on site, 1 Kings chapter 6 verse 7, which means zero magnetic interference, cleanroom assembly because iron creates stray magnetic fields that induce decoherence. Prefabricating components off-site ensures zero magnetic contamination during operational assembly. Cedar wood panelings are substrate decoupling and isolation barriers functioning as a non-conductive structural material that isolates quantum registers from environmental noise. 3. Machine type and operational specifications. Assuming this metaphor holds, the resulting machine would be a 36,000 plus physical qubit hybrid fault-tolerant quantum supercomputer with a 3D topological array. Total physical qubits, approximately 32,200 to 34,400 primary qubits plus auxiliary error correction registers. Topology. 3D lattice connectivity, enabling 3D surface codes, which drastically reduce the qubit overhead required for fault tolerance compared to 2D planar chips. Noise immunity, extremely high. The silent construction, constraint, and gold-plated interior describe a 0M, ultra-cryogenic environment. Core advantage. The inner 8,000 qubit cubic core, Holy of Holies, functions as a protected quantum memory bank, while the 24,000 qubit main hall, Holy Place, executes complex parallel quantum circuits. Primary use case. A machine of this scale and architecture would not just solve optimization problems, it would be capable of full-scale quantum simulation of physical reality, breaking modern cryptographic algorithms instantly, and executing deep topological quantum algorithms that remain stable over long execution.